Hi, welcome to this edition of Get Found Fast for the Glamorous, where you learn how to build your personal brand, enhance your glamour, increase your popularity, and become more famous using the internet marketing tips, tricks, and secrets we teach you. I'm your co-host, Chelsea Benham, and I hail from the great state of Texas.
And I'm Keith Keller calling in from Down Under, and we're going to talk all about Twitter today.
Yes, we are. That's right. In fact, it is I who will be interviewing the Twitter guru, which is Keith Keller. And Keith, right up front, let's just ask, why Twitter?
Well, look, there's a lot of really good reasons why you should be doing Twitter, simply based on the numbers. I mean, there's 500 million people around the world with a Twitter account. 500 million people using Twitter. So that one of the things that's very important to remember about social media, because we're doing a whole series of really great tutorials about what to do and what not to do. And this can get a bit overwhelming. I think the really key point is what's working, what is everyone using, and what's the best use of my time. So knowing that 500 million people around the world use Twitter, it's a fairly good indication that it's a vibrant community and there's a lot going on there. Yeah, so it's worth your effort. It's worth the time to get to know it and use it well.
Yeah, excellent point. I've also heard you say that Twitter is not Facebook, and I was hoping you would expand on that and help us better understand what do you mean.
Well, I specifically talk about this a lot because, with the movie The Social Network, the movie about Facebook, everyone gets that Facebook is the social network. Everyone gets that. But Twitter is not Facebook. It's not for people you went to school with. It's not for hanging out with your friends. It's for meeting people that you don't yet know. I'll talk a little bit more about this as the series goes along. It's for meeting new people. It's for networking with people that could be good JV partners, could potentially be clients, could be new friends that you haven't met yet. And this is the very key difference. Facebook is very casual. It's a great platform. I mean, I love Facebook. I use it every day. But it's very social. And it's really sometimes a little bit difficult to share in the business-related sense. Of course, that's open for debate. But with Twitter is a information network. This is actually the key phrase I use a lot. I'm going to come back to it throughout the course of this video series. This idea that you need to share information with others, that you need to be constantly thinking of your tribe and not so much thinking as a social creature. Here's a picture of my kids, here's a picture of my dog, here's me eating an ice cream. And this is counterintuitive to a lot of people because, we think that Twitter is celebrity culture. But it can have enormous benefits. Entrepreneurs and glamorous people trying to get the message out about what they do in the business world and in the sort of celebrity world.
Right. I wanted to jump in because I've worked with Twitter, clearly not as extensively as you by any means, and thusly we're turning to you for your keen wisdom on how important and how powerful Twitter is. But let's say we're starting off, and for those who are trying to get into the Twitter sphere and just starting an account, how does one even build up their network? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things there that we need to very clearly talk about. One is there's an obsession with the idea of getting more followers. This is actually a trap. So there is a really cool site called WeFollow, wefollow.com. And what that allows you to do is find people on Twitter based on a keyword. Austin, Texas, actor, actress, director, singer, real estate agent, Australia, Melbourne, keywords that are of interest to you, a town you live in, a genre, a business type. And that's the first thing. The best way to have friends is to be one. Actually go out and make friends. Exactly what I'm talking about here, this idea that Facebook is about sharing information with people that you already know and it can be for people that you don't know, but it's mainly used in in the current paradigm for catching up with people that you already know. Whereas Twitter is very much about networking with new people. So wefollow.com, great site for newbies. It's a fantastic site, completely free. And you just type in a keyword and it'll tell you everyone who's on Twitter who uses that keyword in their bio.
And so you would go to, so this is how you would do it. You would build using this keyword around an interest. So in our case, it might be social media, very popular phrase. And we would find somebody and then follow them in the hopes that they would then connect back with us.
And it will happen. You'll probably get about 20 to 30 percent of people, 20 to 30% of people will follow you back simply because there is some synergy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've gone to the trouble of finding someone in your town with your interests, with your your bent on life. Then they're going to go, well, okay, this person's pretty interesting. I'll follow them back. It's very easy to follow back. And then you've got this olive branch. Hey, Chelsea, thanks for following back. How are you doing? Oh, actually, Keith, thank you for asking. I'm really good. How are you today? And then suddenly you've got this really rich vein to have a conversation with someone that you've sought out, that you didn't know before. This is the magic. I'll talk about this a lot during the course of this video series and through the course of all of our materials. This idea that networking with people that you don't yet know is where the magic happens.
Right. Well, Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm sure you know him, the Wine Library. He's the Twitter poster boy, I think, beyond Ashton Kutcher or Ellen DeGeneres, because he built his business, which was just a liquor store in New Jersey, into a $50 million business, along with his hugely popular Wine Library video blog on the internet. And he did it, truly, he believes, solely by spending, dare I say it, he approximates about 12 hours on Twitter. And someone said, well, my gosh, what is he doing? And to hear him speak on TED or to read his book, he would tell you he was on Twitter talking with his customers about their product at the store or advice about wine, and developing this rapport that sort of spread in popularity and gained him more customers, gained him greater visibility. Is that something what you're thinking about when you say that with regards to networking?
Right. It's a great example because, especially if you're a startup. I mean, if you've been doing this a long time and you're thinking of adding social media as something else, well, it would work too, but it works so well. It works so well, and it's essential if you're starting up because there is so much competition. And without this stuff, it doesn't have to be Twitter, but today we're talking about Twitter. Without this stuff, you are invisible to the world. Mm-hmm. You don't exist in the online world. You're just invisible. So by adding this piece, the Twitter piece, this idea of connecting with your customers, all those people that are on Twitter, 20% of Americans, 20% of adult Americans are on Twitter, 8% of Australians are on Twitter, and 500 million people around the world are on Twitter. There's a potential audience that you haven't reached or can't reach otherwise. Mm-hmm. So Gary Vaynerchuk is a great example. He's got a wine company, he sells wine, he's passionate about wine, and he just had a bit of fun. And he made a niche for himself.
Absolutely.
There's no T in niche, so we call it niche, not niche. There's no T in niche. So, we call it niche here. So he made a niche for himself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By using social media, particularly Twitter and YouTube. Brilliant.
Yes, it was. I love. He's a very dynamic personality anyway, and that helps certainly sell on his video and so forth. And he is an expert in his field. He's passionate about it. But yes, I would say that he is quintessentially what we would turn to as a great case study with regards to using Twitter to promote and create more business and grow in a business.
And it's a very good example of what I talk about when I say Twitter is the information network, because if you look at Gary Vee's videos, he never actually asks you to buy anything.
No, he doesn't. That's true. Yes.
He never says, here's a bottle of wine, buy it now, here's the link.
Mm-hmm.
He just says, well, here's a cool bottle of wine, I'm having a look at this, and, this is what I do, and hey, here's a bit of fun. And it's this building rapport, and then you say, well, okay, I do need some wine, I might as well buy it from him.
Right. Yes.